Like Baltimore, I have row homes. DC, I got condos. Virginia, I got single family homes and townhomes. PG County, I got townhomes and single family homes. It's just everything. Yeah. You know. So section 3, how to find a property. Okay, being a wholesaler, a bird dog, a property locator, whatever you want to call it, right? The key is to find a good property that makes sense overall. That's the key to the whole thing. Regardless of if you're doing long term or you're doing short term, the key ingredient is property locator.
Okay.
That's the number one. Finding the right property within the right ingredients that we talked about, and then being able to buy that property. Okay, so you can find properties, you know, for sale by owners. A lot of times, people that are trying to sell them properties themselves, there's a reason why they're trying to sell it. Either their margins are very tight. You know, it might be like somebody's probate situation where a state person was appointed to the grandmother's estate, so they might be trying to sell it. It could be just an individual that is an investor. He's got 20, 30 properties and he's just trying to liquidate his profile. So maybe he's trying to sell it. So you can actually call some of these guys up and talk to them directly. Say, hey guys, look, I saw your property. You know, can I come out and check it out?
And what would be the best way to locate a for sale by owner?
For salebyowner.com.
What's it?
There's a lot of websites out there that are catering to for sale by owners.
Oh.
So you can just Google for sale by owner, boom. All these websites will come up and you'll see John Jones selling 123 Main Street. Hey John, this is Sid. Hey, I just calling about your property. I seen it on the internet. You've had it listed for 180 days. What's going on? Oh, well, I had 3 offers, but they fell through. Well, why did the offers fall through, John? Or they fell through because of, you know, financing or whatever. Hey, well, do you mind if I come look at it? Are you flexible with your price? Well, sure. Come down, look at it. You know, say, okay, well, John, I see you got it listed for 280. This neighborhood is a $400,000 neighborhood, but you need, you know, you need new carpet, new doors, new windows, new this, new that. I'll tell you what, I could make you an offer, and I could close within 10 to 15 days, and I'll give you, you know, 220.
Okay.
Yeah. But you could also, before you go there, you pull up the property on the STAT, the state tax record. You can see when they bought it, who are the owners of that property, right? And how much mortgage they have on their property, if any.
And it tells you all that information?
Yeah.
And the STAT?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the book.
Oh, it is? Okay.
That's what the book.
Okay.
So you go to these websites, then therefore you say, oh, okay, I see that you have a balance of 180,000, but your property's only worth 120. I'm sorry, I can't help you. You know? Now, if they got a balance of 180 and the property's worth 300, and he wants to sell it for 250, well, you know he's got a profit margin. He's trying to pocket some money and move to Florida.
Right.
And I get that. You know, everybody. Sometimes a home is the only investment that people have left.
Right.
You know, that's like the only big thing that they're gonna get 20, 50, 100,000 from. That's their only retirement. So, you know, you have to be cautious in terms of how you approach them, right? But most people will deal with other people that they feel if there's a connection, if there's some sort of pleasantry, there's some sort of connection there. But if you just come in there like a straight thug or investor, they're not going to deal with you. They don't give a fuck what you're going to offer them. They're not going to deal with you.
Right.
But if you come in there and you're pleasant and you cater to them and you say, look, and you're knowledgeable, here's why I'm making this offer to you. These are the reasons why. Okay, I did a thorough inspection of your property. Here's a list of 20 homes that have sold in your neighborhood. And show them data. This sold for 300, this sold for 320, this sold for this. This guy gave up $12,000 for the seller. This guy gave up $10,000. Okay? This home has a brand new kitchen. Yours doesn't. This home has a brand new roof. Yours doesn't. This home, and do apples to apples comparison and just kind of break it down and say, this is why I'm willing to offer you this price. Because I have to get in here and I gotta rip all this stuff out and I gotta rebuild it. So I can sell it at this price. And if you explain things to them properly, and you come across educated, then they'll sit down and they'll listen to you. They'll listen to you. But it's how you approach them.
Right.
You know, but if you come in there and you just make them a ridiculous offer with nothing to back you up, with no facts, in terms of why you're making this offer, they're going to tell you get the hell out. Because that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
If I know that that house is the only house that I got left, you come in here and tell me that you're going to offer me $80,000 low just because, and you can't give me no real facts,
Yeah.
get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
But if you come in there with some facts, and you're able to convince me, you know what, this is real. This is like, okay, this is a real picture,
Mm-hmm.
and these homes are selling for 300. You know, and yes, my house does need new windows, and yes, it needs a new furnace, and yes, it needs this, and yes, and I know this because I live here.
Right.
And you said, okay, you need $3,000 for the driveway. Okay, I can see that. Okay, you need $3,000. You got 10 windows. You need $3,000 for the windows. Okay, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
You need this much for the. Okay, because most people are knowledgeable,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people think that they're just stupid and old and they just don't know. Bullshit. You can never judge a book by its cover.
Right.
You never know what that guy's history is and what he did for 30, 40 years before he retired.
Yeah.
And you go in there as a young buck trying to tell him you're going to give him a low ball figure. You can't do that. You got to go in there and show people respect.
Yeah.
Regardless of who they are, what age they are, what color they are, what creed they are. Show them respect and be professional about your job and make them a legitimate offer.
Right.
Make them an educated offer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you're going to have success.
Okay.
Newspapers. A lot of times in the newspapers, they have estate sales, probate sales, auctions, for sale by owners, rehabbers in there, wholesalers. In the newspaper, there's a lot of information in the local newspapers.
Now, well, yeah, the local city newspapers.
Yeah, like the Washington Post, the Express, the Wall Street Journal, not the Wall Street, the
Yes, thank you.
USA Today, all these local papers.
Yeah.
You just kind of go through them.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see, like under classifieds, you'll see guys in there, hey, looking to sell something.
All right.
You know, you'll see a lot of leads in there. And then you want to look for words in there, you know, like agents welcome, must sell, flexible, rent to own, lease options, for sale or lease, make me an offer, motivated sellers. You want to look for little keywords like in the advertisement.
All right.
But also you could track a lot of these properties. The good thing about the internet, man, is you could see how many times this guy has changed the price.
Mm-hmm.
He had it on the market, but he took it off. He had it, took it off. He had it 400, then took it off, listed it back for 350, didn't sell, took it off, listed it back for 200. You could see the adjustments,
Yeah.
and then you could also kind of see how motivated they are. Just by the conversation on the phone, by asking a few key questions,
Mm-hmm.
and just being humble. And you can just hear in their voice, like, you know, how desperate they are. They want to get rid of the property.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, there's something on the end, their end, that they have to deal with.
Right.
Okay? Like, I'll give you an example. I bought a property, a probate property. The mother had died about a year and a half early. Then the father died. The kids were grown and moved out, living in different places, Connecticut, different places of the United States.
Right.
The house is right here in this local area. Kids got their own families. They're 40, 50 years old themselves. They got their own children. They're set. They don't want to have really anything to do with this property. You know, it's bad memories. Mom and dad lived there for 40 years. They're dead. They both died in the house. They want to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they hired a local lawyer to handle the estate and the transaction to get rid of the property. The local lawyer, he put the property in the system, in the MRI system. So other agents start taking buyers to the property to get rid of it. The property was overpriced. Mom and dad died. They had old debt. Credit card, IRS,
Mm-hmm.
tax liens and stuff. Even though it's a estate sale, or probate sale, there's still bills that got to be paid. Even when you die, the government still wants their money.
All right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
So the taxes still got to be paid. A lot of times they have a limit, like in terms of where they know they have to sell to cover all these costs, and where there's a profit margin and they could sell, right? A lot of times, and it depends on the person. If you have, I've been in situations where you have the kids that are like drug addicts, and they're hooked on coke, crack, whatever the thing is, and they just want money. They just want money. They don't care. They just want money. They just want to sell it. And you have to be careful, because if there's 3 kids, if 2 agree to sell and that 1 does not, that could end up taking forever to make that transaction happen, because all 3 gotta be satisfied with the offer. So in this particular case, I saw the property listed for 149. We watched it. About 60, 67, 80 days went by. Then they dropped it down to 129. And then we watched it, and then we called, said, hey, we'd like to come check it out. Went down to the property, looked at it, had a pretty good talk with the lawyer directly, and told him who we were. You know, we're cash buyers, we'll settle quickly, we'll take the property as is, you don't have to do anything to the property. They had clothes and furniture and stuff down there. I said, you don't have to worry about moving anything out, we'll just take it as is. And I told them I'd take it for $90,000. They came back and they said, oh, well, you know, we need 119. I said, well, I'm sorry, I can't do 119. And then I stopped the conversation. About a week and a half, 2 weeks went by. I guess they had other people that were interested. And people went in there, offered them, you know, maybe lower money, but they had different terms. They were going to take 50 days to settle, or 60 days to settle, or maybe they weren't as a strong buyer, or maybe they had conditions like, hey, we want all this stuff moved out, and we want you to do this, and we want you to do that, and then we'll buy it. Whereas I was coming in, I said, look, I'll just take it as is, here's a check, let's close this deal, and let's keep it moving. With my deal, there's no strings attached. It is a straight deal. So they came back and they said, okay, fine, we'll take your offer. So I got the house for $90,000, and I flipped it for $250,000. Okay, so those kind of deals, they're out there. Believe me, everything I'm telling you, everything we're talking about is real stuff that I have gone through myself. So I'm not telling you or teaching you anything that I haven't gone through or seen. This is real stuff that really happens out there. You got to be patient. You got to work the leads. You got to work the phones. You got to work the internet. You got to make calls. You got to stay on top of people. You got to be patient. Just keep at it, and boom, something comes through. You just never know when it's going to come through, but it's going to come through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And being in sales, you know that.
Yeah.
And sometimes things come through with the people you least expected to come through. You're like, I had no idea this guy was going to pull the plug and get going. You know what I mean? You just don't know who's going to come through. Okay? Real estate agents can be your friend and can be a good resource for you. But again, you know, they're going to want to work with serious buyers that could actually close and that are going to be able to do what you as the investor say you're going to be able to do. A lot of real estate agents have been burnt and gotten a bad taste for dealing with a lot of inexperienced investors. So they're being cautious themselves. They're trying to pre-qualify you and make sure that you're in a good position to actually buy something once they find it. Because you got to keep in mind, real estate agents get commissions.
Right.
So they don't want to drive you around to 20, 30 properties and waste their gas and their time, and you have no intentions of buying something. So therefore, they may not deal with you.
Right.
Now, the ones that may is if you could get some of them that are like some of the newer agents. Some of the newer agents that don't have anything going on, right? and they're just looking for experience.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll drive you around the 10, 20 houses and talk the shit with you and kind of get to know you. So some of those will, because they don't have really anything else going on.
Right.
But, you know, but they can be a very helpful resource. Now, I have some excellent relationship with a lot of real estate agents. Okay? But I've proven myself. So they come to me, they're like, hey, Sid, I got a deal. Hey, Sid, I got a deal. Hey, Sid, I got a deal. Okay, but what they may think is a deal, what I may think is a deal, two separate things.
Right.
They're agents. They get paid commission. Their job is to sell a property. They're salespeople, just like I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So a deal is a deal when you see a deal. Right? So, but the thing is, you want to get to the place where the agents is calling you and bringing stuff to you, and you got 10, 20 people sending you stuff every day, and therefore all you're doing is reviewing properties and analyzing stuff. No good, no good. Let me keep this one. No good. Let me keep this one. And now you're just looking at properties. So they can be helpful, but again, it takes time to build up relationships.
Right.
You know, and then probate sales. We talked about probate sales. You know, Carletta. Did you meet Carletta?
I did.
You did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, her background, just to kind of give you a small 1 minute. She's been working with law firms for the last 20 years. And the only thing she did is like probate sales, state sales, tax liens, and foreclosures. So she was their paralegal, and she managed like 18 people under her. So the lawyers would go to her and say, here's 30 cases. And then she would distribute them to the right people, and then stay on top of the court documents, how to use the microfiche, how to go into the court records room and look at the records, and how to analyze, you know, all this different stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the reason she's on board now is to focus on probates and estate sales and tax sales and different things like that, which is going to allow us to find properties that are not in the MRIS system where everybody's dumping them, but everybody's also looking in the same system.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to create my own system where there's not that much competition.
Right.
Homemade.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to be helping me create that homemade system.
Okay.
Now, she's somebody that I would like for you to spend time with too,
Mm-hmm.
so she could show you on how to use some of these. Like, we just got hooked up with Accurate, which is a Lexus software,
Mm-hmm.
which allows us to pull up anybody's information and how to look for people, how to find people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a paid subscription,
Mm-hmm.
but it gives us everything about that person. Like, I put in my name,
Mm-hmm.
okay? It found out who my brother is, who my brother's wife is, who my other brother is, who's their wife and their kids, found out where they live, found out how they're related to me. It went all the way back to my very first credit card when I was like 18 years old that I got. It had everything listed in there about me. Every place that I moved, every place I lived, every phone number that I've had, every employer that I had, everything that I had was in there.
Scary, man.
So public information is you know, everybody just gathering and compiling and selling it.
Yeah.
So now it's easy to find people, locate people.
Right.
You know. So Carletta's going to be really working that, and she knows the system. That's what she did for the lawyers.
Yeah.
So when she found these people, she gave the cases back to the attorneys, and then they actually went and did whatever they had to do to foreclose on that person, or to bring them in, or to try to do a workout plan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So everything she did for them for the last 20 years is what she's going to be doing for us here,
Yeah.
which is going to allow us to open up another door, another avenue for us to get to these properties that a lot of investors are not going to be in the position to get to.
Right.
So, okay. So like, here's like websites, like the internet website, like redfin.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's a website where you can see a lot of properties, you can analyze a lot of properties, you can see what's sold, what's active, what has a contract, what was withdrawn. You can see a lot of information on the neighborhood. So if you find a property, let's say in Hyattsville, and it's within your neighborhood, you can punch in the address and you can see the information about the property. Okay, so it's kind of like a Remax, a Coa Bankers,
Okay.
you know, but they're online internet agents.
Yeah.
So it's the new wave. And then, like I said, like you got realtors.com. That's another website you could use. Realtortrack.com does all like foreclosures, and they do a lot of tracking of data. It's like a data house. And then they are the ones that send out the information to like Wall Street or to CNBC or MSN when they talk about housing numbers,
Yeah.
quarterly housing numbers. So a lot of times they'll quote, hey, realtortrack.com just said, we were up 16% this month. So they'll quote information out of there. Zillow.com, you could go in there, you could see an estimate in terms of what the home's value is.
Mm-hmm.
So you could punch in the address and it'll give you an idea of what those homes are selling for in that community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's accurate, but you use that along with your own knowledge and information about the neighborhood, but it'll give you an idea.
Right.
ServingDCandMaryland.com. It's another free website online which you could go to and find about foreclosures, auctions, and look at properties, create a profile, and things like that.
How do I get involved with these groups that you mentioned, investors group?
They're free. A lot of them are free.
Right, but how do I find out, when they meeting and all that?
Oh, there's a schedule. There's a schedule. Carletta actually has it for all the different groups.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people meet on Tuesday nights, some people meet on Wednesdays, some people meet on Saturdays, and then you could just get on their email list,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll just email you, hey, we have a meeting tonight, we got this, we got that.
Okay.
But I think the biggest thing for me, what I would tell you is just get on the internet, read, just watch and connect the dots, and I mean, you're smart, you know how to, you could kind of visualize stuff.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to do that with the information on the internet and look at your time. So instead of you going to some of these meetings at 8, 9 o'clock at night,
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be at home on the computer 8, 9 o'clock at night, getting more done and getting access to a lot more stuff than going to some group where you have a bunch of new people that are in the same boat
Mm-hmm.
that are all fishing for knowledge and fishing for information and fishing for deals or fishing to strike that relationship with somebody like me or investor where they could offload their deals to, right? Everybody's doing the same thing. So why go with the same fishes in the same fish bowl?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it'll work because you're trying to build up your name, you're trying to build up names of other people, but again, you can get a lot of the stuff right offline.
Mm-hmm.
You could go online and become a member of different groups, and you could be a member of 50, 100 different groups just via the internet. And if you got a deal and you blast it out there, and if somebody sees it and they knows the deal, well, they're gonna call you. A deal's a deal,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to go to this particular real group or this particular group or this particular group or this particular group. The buyer could be just somewhere out there that you never even met with none of these groups,
Mm-hmm.
but you just had to be online and you created a relationship with this guy
Mm-hmm.
through whatever group, and he might be part of another 50, 60, 80 group member, and you posted his property, and he just happened to see it,
Mm-hmm.
and he happened to know that neighborhood, and knows that's a 5.3 and it's a good price at 89,000. Hey man, I want to buy that property. Right? So a lot of times, like I'm on LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm part of like 150, 200 different group members. Right? So for me, I don't really want to go out and meet a whole bunch of people.
Right.
Now the meetings that I go to are people where they have a lot of money
Mm-hmm.
and they want to flip their money, and they don't want to go out there and do construction or rehab or paint or remove carpet. They just want to say, okay, here's $200,000, give me back $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me the 200, I'll give you back 250. So I'd rather go to those kind of meetings.
Yeah.
So, okay, so going on here. So Facebook and Twitter, I don't know if you have a Facebook, Twitter account.
Facebook.
You do?
Yeah.
Social media is getting huge.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is gonna start doing a lot of stuff with Google pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a personal account with Facebook, they also have a fan page account, and they got a business account or something. I got 2 girls working on this stuff for me, trying to get all my stuff. I have an account. I probably got a couple hundred people following me. I don't know who they are. But she does all my updates and responds back to them. I don't even know who they are.
Yeah.
But it's a new medium that you gotta kind of
Yeah, you gotta get involved.
get involved into it. So, you want to take a break?
No, go ahead.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we're gonna finish this, then we're gonna go out to the property.
All right.
All right. So you got, like I said, you got foreclosures. And right now, what I'm doing is foreclosures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you have short sales.
So, all the properties that you're purchasing right now, they are foreclosed.
All of them.
They're already foreclosed.
All of them.
Okay.
Done.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
That's good, right? That's really good.
Yeah. Because the thing is, see, you gotta understand the cycle. Okay. So once you understand the cycle, what happens is like this: you got a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
He stops missing payments.
Right.
So you got the bank, they're like, oh shit, red alert. Okay, this guy's missed 4 payments, right? So the bank's like calling you like crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? You missed the last 4 payments, we'd like to try to work something out with you.
Mm-hmm.
What's the hardship? Let's check out your finances. Did something change? Did you lose your job? Why you stop making payments? They're gonna try to do that process.
Right.
So they're gonna try to call you. So you send them your information, whatever, they're gonna try to do workout. Because keep in mind, it takes the bank time and money to foreclose on a property.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere from $50 to $60 to $70,000 to foreclose on that property. They don't want to spend that kind of money,
Right.
and they don't want to waste a lot of the time. So if they can work out something with you directly, they will. But most homeowners don't communicate back with the banks. What they do is they stick their head in the sand, and they just think everything's just going to go away. Right? And it just doesn't go away.
Right.
The phone calls keep coming in. The letters keep coming in. Communication is the best answer to anything. If your wife is mad at you, and you don't communicate with her for 2-3 months, well, she gonna go away. There's something gonna happen. If the bank is mad at you and you're missing payments, they just want to know what the hell's going on.
Right.
Why are you missing payments? You were fine for 2, 3, 4 years. What happened? Communication. Right? A lot of times people get scared. They just don't know. And they just stick their head in the sand. Next you know, the bank's coming foreclose. Right? But the banks send out letters. They send out phone calls. They try to reach you for a long time.
Right.
And then finally they'll default. And then they'll send in a default notice to the county, PG County, Montgomery County, whatever county. Hey, this guy here, we're defaulting on him. So once that letter gets recorded to the city, that's going to come to you. Said, hey, you're on a default. You still have time to work out something with the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But the more time that goes by, then the bank's going to hire lawyers. Then they're going to outsource the paperwork to the lawyer. And the lawyer, now he wants his money.
Right.
So his job is to say, oh, look, either get in or get out. If you want to get in, give us $18,000 to get caught up on your payments, or get out. Oh, you don't have $18,000? Okay, we're moving forward with the foreclosure. And they're going to start the foreclosure stuff. Right? Then you're going to start getting letters stuck on your door. Get out, you got 30 days, you got this, you got that. People come taking pictures, knocking on your doors to see if the house is vacant or if it's occupied. Is it destroyed? Is it damaged? Is it in good condition? They're going to send out an agent to your property, look at it, see if the grass is big, all that stuff. Then they're going to get a real estate agent, what's called a BPO, a local real estate agent, because most banks are out of state. The property could be here, but they could be out there somewhere.
Right.
So they're going to send a local real estate agent to go look at this house, and then the agent's going to do a BPO, okay, and do analysis on the property. And then go back to the bank and say, yes, the property is worth $200,000. Yes, the property is vacant. Yes, the property is in good condition. Or no, the property is damaged. No, the water heater is gone. The furnace is gone. It's got 6 inches of water in the basement. There's mold. The windows are broken, and the roof has a hole in it.
Yeah.
And the property is only worth $30,000, right? Or they're going to say the other thing. The house is great.
Right.
So then the information goes back to the bank. Then the bank determines, okay, well, where should we list this property? Where should we sell it for? Well, the guy owes us $300,000. We know that this neighborhood is a $300,000 neighborhood, but we also know, based on the local agent that went out to the property, the home has a hole in the roof, and it's got 6 inches of water in the basement.